January 12th. Nintendo rolled out a presentation and unveiled a ton of new information about their upcoming console, Nintendo Switch. In said presentation, they showed a lot of promising things to get people excited for the release in March. But they also shared some less than stellar information that has fans like me just a little bit worried that the company still hasn't quite learned from some of its biggest mistakes over the years, or that it could be continuing to make more of them in the future. I was out of town on a business trip on the day of the presentation, then I jumped right into my spring semester at college when I got home, so that's why I'm so late to reporting on all of this. I have a lot of work to do at the moment, so I'm not going to be as long-winded as I usually am with this stuff. I'll talk about the major announcements that stood out to me, give my opinions, and then you'll all go back to waiting another 2 weeks or so with bated breath for whatever the hell I decide to upload next. Let's start with some of the more general stuff. The Switch is launching on March 3rd, 2017. That's much earlier than I was expecting. I was so sure we were looking at a mid to late month release, but if we're getting our hands on this thing that much sooner, who am I to complain? The console is going to cost $299.99. That's not bad, I guess. I mean, I certainly would have preferred it to be something like $250 instead, but $300 is still somewhat reasonable, I guess. Personally, I'm not really impressed by the Joy-Cons all that much. Don't get me wrong, they have a lot of cool tech invested in them, and the amount of things they can do is interesting, but I don't really see myself actually utilizing them more than whatever is absolutely necessary. All this emphasis on motion controls really kind of makes me cringe, to be honest. It just feels like Nintendo is still trying to ride the coattails of the Wii and is desperately trying to appeal to a crowd that has long since moved on from motion controls. I know there are people out there that still like this way of playing games, but I personally got my fill of it with the Wii, and I can't see myself actually playing my Switch this way when I'm on the go. The pricing on these accessories is also pretty damn absurd. Having to pay anywhere from $50 to $80 to replace my Joy-Cons in the event that I lose them makes me want to just keep them attached to the screen and use them as rarely as possible. And that's just the Joy-Con price. There's a ton of accessories from what I'm seeing just by glancing at the Nintendo Switch pages on Nintendo's website. And none of these accessories are cheap. I'm telling you guys, Wii vibes, and not in a good way. The console being region-free is a great step in the right direction, and I hope all future Nintendo consoles follow this. Doesn't really impact me personally since I don't really import any of my games, but it's great for other people, I'm sure. I don't know what to make of the battery life. I think its quality depends on how often you play games when you're traveling. Of course, longer would always be better, but when I'm traveling, I typically bring games like Smash or Mario Kart, titles I can play in short bursts as opposed to longer sit-down sessions at home, since I never know when I'll have to abruptly stop playing. I don't know if I want to devote a lot of time into something like Breath of the Wild when I'm on the road and might have to stop at any given moment. So the battery life being 2.5 to 6 hours might be more than enough for me depending on which games I'm taking along. The USB charging is a welcome change though. I think it's a little bit early for everyone to be getting their panties in a twist over Nintendo charging for online play now. I mean, we don't even know how much it's going to cost yet. But let's be honest, Nintendo's online service has been notoriously shit for years. Nintendo has always lacked now standard features like voice chat or game invites, and the netcode has the stability of wet toilet paper. It lags so hard that it makes gamers more violent than violent video games ever could. So if charging for the service means the experience will be that much more stable, modern, and professional, I'll gladly pay for it. I have been hearing that all of the online features are being handled through a separate smartphone app, and that raises more questions than it answers. But before we start declaring this to be the beginning of the end as we do with every new Nintendo console, let's wait until we learn more, okay? No? Didn't think so. Honestly, the biggest gripe I have with the Switch overall, aside from the Joy-Con stuff, is the launch lineup. After all this time of waiting in the dark and leaving the Wii U for dead and promises from Nintendo that they were working to get as many quality titles ready for the Switch as possible, the actual launch day lineup is kind of disappointing to me. The only title I care about that's for sure going to be there is Breath of the Wild. Nothing else here really interests me all that much, even though I'm sure that's not the case for everyone else. I'd rather just get Breath of the Wild for $60 on Wii U than pay the extra $300 for the Switch when that's the only title I'd have for it. I wasn't expecting all of Nintendo's first-party offerings to be there right away, but I would have liked at least one or two more since Breath of the Wild isn't even a system exclusive. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to get a Switch at some point, but I'm probably just going to wait until the other games I want start to come out. Speaking of which, let's get into the good stuff. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Okay, I feel like I'm way more excited for this one than I probably should be. At the end of the day, it's an exact port of the Wii U version with all of the DLC included, a few extra characters, and a battle mode that doesn't suck donkey nuts. I totally understand why people who spent so much money on the vanilla version are upset about paying full price for essentially the same game all over again. And I doubt there's any feasible way the loyal Wii U adopters will be compensated for this somehow. Especially if you bought the game physically. It sucks, and I totally get where you guys are coming from. But I'm shamelessly biased here. It has Bowser Jr., the one character I would not shut the fuck up about, so I kinda feel obligated to get this version now. Plus it has Inklings and a Splatoon battle map. You have to admit that's pretty damn awesome. The new characters, coupled with the fact that you can now play Mario Kart 8 on the go, and the battle mode being revised to what it should have been in the beginning, all probably make this the definitive version of the game. Anyone who didn't play it on Wii U absolutely has to try it now, because to me, it looks pretty damn close to perfect. I really hope this game gets a bundle with the Switch, because this is definitely the game I want to get the system for. I feel as though enough time has passed since I last played Mario Kart 8 on Wii U that I don't mind getting sucked back into the game all over again. Since so much of the game is clearly already done, I'm kind of scratching my head and wondering why this isn't coming until the end of April. It looks pretty much done. And it's a port, so how much extra work is there really left to do? If this game was coming on launch day along with Zelda, this probably would have been enough for me to say, yep, I'm getting the Switch on launch. But it's not, so I guess I'll wait. Even so, why this wasn't in the presentation itself is beyond me. 1-2 Switch. I'm totally indifferent to this one. To me, the trailer dragged on for way too long, and it looks like a glorified tech demo that really has no business being anything more than a free pack-in with the system. ARMS. I guess it looks interesting. Not really sure if I'm sold on the concept yet, but it's a new colorful IP, and it gives me a lot of the same good vibes I got from Splatoon when that was first revealed. Plus, the fact that motion controls aren't mandatory means I might change my mind and become more interested in this game later down the road. Splatoon 2. Oh, hell yes. I'm absolutely getting this one. No doubt about that. And I'm kind of glad it's a sequel instead of a port of the original game, even though visually it looks identical to the first Splatoon. That doesn't really bother me though. I mean, the original was such a breakout hit that I'm sure Nintendo wanted to give us more of it as soon as possible. So I don't think this is too early by any stretch of the imagination. It'll undoubtedly have new maps, new weapons, a new campaign with the return of the Octolings, and the hairstyles are an indication that more Inkling customization options are coming, so that's all great in my book. All I really want from this game is the return of Splatfests in some form, the option for local split-screen multiplayer, and maybe they could give us all the online multiplayer modes and maps at once instead of spoon-feeding them to us in the same weird rotation system the original Splatoon had. It was an interesting experiment having new stuff to do at certain times of the day, but I'd rather have all the options given to me at once to choose from. But I'm confident this one's going to be good. Kind of wish it was coming sooner than summer, but I'm hoping Mario Kart will keep me busy until then. Breath of the Wild. There's not much I feel I can really say about it this late in the game. I mean, it looks amazing, and I can't wait to dive in and explore everything it has to offer. But can we all agree that this trailer was one of the best Nintendo has ever done? I mean, it was fantastic. The set pieces, the orchestrated soundtrack, the voice acting, by God, the voice acting! I'm not even a huge Zelda fan, and I'm so ready to play this. I can't even imagine how hyped the hardcore Zelda fans are for this game to finally come out. Then of course, there's the bombshell. The new Mario game is finally here. Super Mario Odyssey. Oh my God. I don't even know where to begin with this one. It's so hard for me to find the words. All that immediately comes to mind is just, I love it. 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 I think it looks fan-fucking-tastic. I love all the detail on Mario's clothing and hair and model and all of his facial expression. I absolutely love all of the moves Mario has, from the classic triple jump to the new one like that goofy spin dash looking roll. It all looks remarkable. I can't wait to feel how Mario controls because he looks like he controls like a dream. People say it's weird for Mario to be running around in the real world next to humans, and to that I say, NBA Street V3. That game had Mario in it and nobody complained, so why is this any different? Then there are people comparing this to Sonic 06. But come on, let's be real here. Sonic 06 had a shit ton of problems, and Sonic running around in a city full of humans was the least of them, since that wasn't even the first time it had ever happened. I appreciate the contrast of Mario being so much shorter and cartoony compared to real humans. Seeing him run around this giant, realistic city, hopping on taxis and swinging off of street lamps, gives off this distinct, humorous contrast, and there's a certain charm to it in my opinion. I feel like the urban setting kind of justifies all of Mario's acrobatic abilities by writing them off as parkour, so I think the setting really works, and it's something we haven't seen before. Frankly, I'm glad we're getting out of the Mushroom Kingdom for a change. People say this is Mario meets GTA, but I say it's more like Mario meets Infamous, and I ain't opposed to that. I think I need to see a little bit more of Mario Odyssey before I declare this to be the 3D Mario game of my dreams, and I'm a little crushed that I have to wait until the end of the year to play this because it looks so damn good. It could have its flaws, it definitely could, but oh my god does it look so damn promising right now. I think I'm gonna have to make a separate video talking about this because there's so much here that I haven't even touched on yet, like the other insanely imaginative worlds outside of this city. I can't wait to see what else is out there. Then there's the fact that Mario's hat now has eyes, and Mario can use it as a platform. Mario's got that ship, and I want to know what that's all about. Bowser's looking fresh as fuck in that suit, and he's marrying Peach. Even though that's not that much more original than just kidnapping her, need I remind everyone that the last time Bowser tried to marry Peach, we got one hell of a storyline. Not automatically saying this will be just as good, but still, there's a lot of potential here. It has been a long time since I was this excited for a Mario game. I just can't wait to learn more and to eventually get my hands on it. This last one isn't really a game, but I felt it was still worth mentioning. There was this Parental Controls app video that was posted around the same time as all of the announcements. This video starred Bowser and Bowser Jr. and showcased some of the features of this new app that Nintendo's working on. But since I don't have kids, and I'm a little old for my parents to be worried about what games I'm playing or how long I'm playing them for, why should I care about this video, you ask? Because it was the most goddamn adorable thing I have ever seen. I love these two. They are too precious. Bowser is best pimp and best dad. Confirmed. Look at this little champ. Look at that adorable smile. Kicking his little feet when he's happy. He's having such a good time. Bowser's using one claw to navigate his phone, which he's got a picture of Peach on, by the way, and that's pretty normal. He wants his little boy to have fun, and he doesn't want to ruin it, but he also wants to protect him from the inappropriate stuff out there. I love Junior speaking his own little gibberish language. He's so small and innocent, and I just want to hug him. These two, my heart. I can't take this. This is just... ugh. I feel like Nintendo specifically made this for me because they know how much I love these two. So, happy birthday to me. I want more of this. I want more. I want a Mario TV show like this. I want a Mario movie like this. I want Mario Odyssey to have cutscenes like this. I want Nintendo to never stop doing amazing, adorable stuff like this with its characters because I love it all so much. And this is what I want. This is what I've been talking about and... What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, the Switch. I'd say the presentation had its high points and low ones as well. Even though I do wish the Switch was a bit cheaper, I think it was definitely smart to get the price and release date covered right out of the gate. If the system really scratches that itch for both home console and handheld gaming simultaneously, then in time, I'm sure I won't mind the price so much knowing I won't be having to buy another handheld in the next few years. I just wish all these accessories weren't so damn expensive. I get it, the Joy-Cons have all this cool tech in them, like HD Rumble and all that. But come on, buying any combination of any of this stuff adds up way faster than it should. Just give me the system, the games, and maybe the Pro Controller, and I'm all set. The high prices don't incentivize me to get anything more than that. In fact, they pretty much turn me away. I don't really care about any of the motion control Joy-Con stuff. I'm glad it's not absolutely required, but the amount of focus this aspect got in the presentation kind of worries me that Nintendo still isn't quite ready to let go of the past. I want to wait until we know the price before I start flipping out over Nintendo charging for its online play, but I am in favor of the principle of it. If it means I can play Smash with online that isn't completely shit, I'll gladly pay money for it. Even though I think the launch lineup is a little weak and games like 1-2 Switch and ARMS aren't exactly doing it for me, I did see some really good stuff. Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade 2 if you're into that, and Mario Odyssey all in the first year is really exciting, especially if those last two actually do release this year and don't get delayed. Even though I would have liked to see at least one more first-party offering somewhere in there, preferably on launch day, I'm really just hoping now Nintendo can keep this momentum up. Next year, I really want to see more. Animal Crossing, Kirby, we already know Fire Emblem will be there. Could we get something like Pokemon Stars and finally get a main series title on the home console? Maybe give us some more enhanced Wii U ports like Mario Maker or Pokken Tournament with all the extra characters that the arcade version got and the Wii U version never did? Or could we give Metroid or F-Zero the Fire Emblem treatment and give them one more shot to really hit it out of the park? Honestly, who knows what's coming next? I just hope this first year is an indication that Nintendo plans to really go all out this generation. I'm not all that concerned that Smash Bros. Wasn't here. I really do think they just weren't quite ready to show it off yet, whatever it actually is, but I'm confident we'll see the game at some point. I mean, it's been over a year since the development of the Cloud, Corrin, and Bayonetta amiibo was confirmed, and we still haven't seen any sign of them. Nintendo's gotta be holding them back to coincide with the release of Smash in one form or another, right? What other reason could there be? It's just a matter of time. I'm willing to bet E3 this year is when we'll see what's next for Smash Bros., if not sooner than that. Overall, this was not a bad showing. Could have been even better, but I guess it got the job done for me since I definitely plan to get the system myself eventually. Not right away though, I'm waiting for more of the games. I wouldn't say this was Nintendo's best presentation ever, as there are still little red flags here and there that Nintendo isn't doing everything it should be to get the Switch off on the right foot. But only time will tell how this all plays out in the end. Thanks for watching. This has been Brawmaster012 signing off.